All right, so what I want to do right now is open the floor to you. All right? How many of you have been following me or been watching my videos for at least a year? Another show of hands? All right. There's got to be a moment during that time where you've thought, I want to ask him something. Yeah? Never? That's why you read my books? All right, well, the book stands in front of you right now, and you have an opportunity to ask me anything you want about, well, anything really. So, who wants to go first? I love how everyone looks around like, All right, we have our winner here.
It's actually a very simple question. What's your personal breakthrough?
My personal breakthrough. Is there a time window or just an ever? Because I have personal breakthroughs like every day. Biggest one in the last few years. Okay. My personal breakthrough that I had years ago and had again years ago and have pretty much on a recurring basis is this concept of the fact that there's absolutely nothing that happens in our lives that can't be either fixed or solved. So if there's something going on, if there's a challenge or if there's a hurdle, there is absolutely nothing really that you can't somehow address. And it comes back to what I spoke about yesterday, right? That you have a choice. You choose which way to go about it, but it's solvable. And I go through a lot of hurdles every day. And I woke up this morning and there's some things going on. I was just talking in the back with Ritaban. By the way, I want to give a moment to shout out to my very good friend. He's basically my little brother, Ritaban, out back here. Rito is an amazing guy. He flew in all the way from India. He's staying with us for a little while. I've known him for years. When I met him, he was, just doing the affiliate thing, doing pretty well. And since then, he's gone on to do about over $5 million online. This guy's freaking brilliant. So he is truly one of the most talented people I've ever met. He's a one-man machine. Design, tech, marketing, copy, everything in one person. So I was just talking to him and I said, I'm looking at everything I have to get done between now and Monday morning. And I actually don't know how it's possible because there's just too many things and they all have to be done by Monday morning. And the me 7, 8, 9 years ago would get incredibly stressed by that and would focus on that and it would really spiral, downward spiral. The me today turned around and looked at him, shrugged my shoulders, and I said, I'll figure it out. And I genuinely meant it. And then I turned to him and said, I just won't sleep for a couple of days. It's okay. I'll figure it out. I'm not bothered by the challenge, nor am I bothered by the solution at the current moment, because there's nothing right now that I can do about it because I'm present in this situation. So one of the things that I said on stage, I was at a Bob Proctor event recently at the Matrix. I think you guys were there and maybe a few others were there. And Bob does to me what I like to do to other people. So I was supposed to just be a guest. Comes up to me about 15 minutes before and says, are you ready? I said, ready for what? He says, you're talking on stage. I need you to go on stage and talk. And I said, wow, okay, sure. And I had to come up with something to talk about. And it came up during that time. I was surveying the crowd and talking to people, and I started to realize that people were so hung up on plans. What's the plan? How does this happen? How? How? And here's the funny thing I learned in sales. Okay, and listen to this and transfer it over into psychology with yourself. Because success is all a psychological game. That's a whole nother lecture. We can get into that some other time. In sales, they always say, give just enough details to get the sale. Do not give too many details. When you give too many details, you create too many areas of objection. When you say too much, you end up saying so much that they might object with one or two things that you've said. And then they'll get hung up on that. Even if it's insignificant. I give a brilliant example once. Long back, I was in a meeting and I was selling consulting to this one company, and I was doing my presentation. I was going through my pitch. 75% of the way through the presentation, the CEO of the company, you could tell, was frustrated and said, hey, I don't think you understand. I called you here to sign you. Like, can we just sign? Like, what are the terms and all? But I was so excited. I wanted to talk about the extra bonuses I'm giving, like the really cool offer. And I said, yeah, absolutely. I just want to finish up so you just understand exactly. And he's like, oh, fine, whatever, do it. One of the things I was giving away was that all my clients get to attend our really intensive masterminds for free. They get to come spend 2 or 3 days with all of my other clients, and that's more time with me during that time. But it's just a bonus. It's just an additional add-on. It has nothing to do with what they wanted to hire me for. It was just another mastermind. And he turns around and says, whoa, hold on, wait, that's pretty cool. When is that? When's the next one? And I said, oh, it's in July. He's like, I'm in Europe in July, all of July. And I said, and I see where it was going. I was like, oh, whoa, hold on. You can come to the next one, or it doesn't really matter. It's not part of this deal, it's okay. And he said, when's the next one? I don't know, I haven't planned it. The whole conversation pivoted, and all we talked about was how he can't make it to the mastermind, which he never cared to go to begin with. Lost the sale, didn't get it. Said he'd come back to me when I knew when the next one was and if he could make it. So when we focus on the how, you tell your brain, here are the 10 things, here are the 10 steps. You know what your brain does to 3 of them? Says, sure you can do that? I don't know. That looks pretty hard. You've never done that before. Are you sure? And it starts to talk doubt, and you get hung up on the 3 things you don't know how to do, and you avoid the 7 you do. So I gave a perfect example. How many of you have navigation in your car or on your phone and have used it at some point to go somewhere? You remember the example. So I need to go from here to Montreal. I don't know how to get there. So today I'm going to go in my car, I'm going to plug Montreal in. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go to my navigation, I'm going to put an address in. And the navigation is going to say, take a right turn. Thank you very much. Go straight 2 miles, take a left turn. Okay. Am I asking the navigation, okay, great, but what am I doing 32 miles down the road from now? Do I care? And if I make a mistake and turn the wrong direction, what does the navigation do? It just reroutes you. Is there only one way to get to Montreal? So in something so practical, we don't care. We're happy to accept just the next step. But when it comes to our own lives, we are not. We're allowing this piece of machine to take us down roads and paths we don't know. What if you're driving through a dangerous neighborhood, but you trust the app to just get you where you need to go, but you don't trust yourselves to get you where you need to go? So I have stopped worrying about the how, because the how just doesn't matter. How many of you have planned things and then they don't go as planned? Raise your hands if you've planned things and yeah, exactly. Nothing goes as planned. Jeremy's like, this talk's not going as planned, my friend. They never do. So it just doesn't matter, right? So you're here and you're getting the steps. And what's going to happen is every business is different. And so we're sitting here and we're like, oh, how did you get your first sale? And she's like, well, I put it up on my Facebook. And you're like, awesome. You run to your Facebook and post it up, and a day later you're like, son of a bitch, I didn't get a sale. Stupid liars, making stuff up. Find your own way. Learn the basics, learn the foundation, right? It's funny because we were getting our house built, and I was at my house inspection, I was at the inspection of the concrete, and I asked the guy who was inspecting it. He was there to inspect the quality of the concrete that had been laid. And he didn't have any blueprints of my house. So I was just curious. I was like, how do you check to see if this concrete can support the house? And he looks at me and said, concrete is concrete, my friend. If that's stable, it can support a house. And I thought, makes a lot of sense. How you build the house doesn't matter. The foundation has to be firm. That's what today is about. That's what here is about. Build the foundation and then find your path. Get creative, do new things. At one point, you will have to pivot. You know, to pick on Dan, I went to Dan recently and I asked him for something. Even Zane, actually I'll pick on Zane on this one. So I said to Zane, he was teaching me how to do Facebook likes and he had a strategy. I said, I want to grow my Facebook likes. We got on the call and he showed me what he does. And I was like, sweet, this is awesome. I can do this. I went and did it. Totally didn't work. Call back the same next day. I'm like, are you sure? And he's like, oh, it works for me. And I'm like, well, whatever, it doesn't work for me. Move on to the next thing. Sometimes things just don't always work, so you have to find your own path. So for me, a very long answer to a short question, but I just find my own way. Right? So I got the foundational knowledge, and then I'm not worried about the how, and I don't stress about it. So whatever I got to do between now and Monday, I'll get done. I'll find a way. I always do.